check for you now.
Because now it's what, 12 o'clock?
It's 11 now.
11, so 12 it's at 1.
Yeah. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. So, what we should do is, Ben, I mean, it's time. We should do this one, then you say I'll do it on the next one. And then after change. I'm on fire. Is that coffee in there, my guy? Ah. You know, on Sundays, that's what I do. I can wake up and I'll start firing early. As early as 7 a.m.
Firing repeat?
Yes. And then you're stopping by 3 o'clock, that's you're done. And you're still fresh to Monday. Problem starts and guys want to start looking for each other at 3 o'clock on a Sunday. I have it.
So that's sometimes.
Yes. Like last time I did that, I went home.
God.
No take.
So we're doing this next one. And then we give them third and fourth. And then we come back. Otherwise, I make it time. Otherwise, he's going to stand around and make it walk stairs. We both do this one. And then we come, it'll be natural.
Okay.
Just give him, you like, right?
I get you.
And then we're out. And then straight after that, we can just come back. Then it's done.
We just hit a tangent like this. And disappear for a bit.
But you know what? Stuff that. You just say, hey, we're doing the final.
It is what it is.
We're doing the final. So if you're tired, you can rest. Because you've done what? 2 on the trot, yeah? Yeah, so you can rest. Honestly, it'll just be stuff you. Sorry, we're doing the final.
This is MCC, yeah? Yeah, I checked this. I reposted this. Yeah. English.
I'm sorry, bro. Yes, that's
That Oak is having his fun.
And the one kid in the sling trying to yeah. I'm like, no. That was in Esigodini.
No, it was at John's.
At John's.
I really wanted to go this weekend, but I just never got around to being practical about it. Fireballs.
Oh. All the best.
Later, Bruce
Back to the sniper spot.
Bruce Bird. We're taking it back. We're taking it down. We're taking it down.
But did you say all cool?
No, ibanda tubwedzera brightness. Kana tori ugono ngoto.
It was my daughter's birthday yesterday. So I appreciate the cake.
So you're still enjoying the whole week. Couple of days you'll just be munching.
How old is she?
Hillcrest College.
I said for a couple of days. If it's like a birthday at home
College.
with the cake, until it'll last maybe
Until next
extra
year.
3-4 days.
Apparently they last up until like 3 months or 4 months, eh? Cakes. Yeah.
Damn.
That's my wedding cake, Sky case.
Well, with me it won't last that long, so it's fine. Don't worry. I love cake. If it's a proper nice cake at home, I'll.
You know what I've found? Ever since I started living alone, I crave cake, I buy cake, I'll eat, then leave it.
Yeah.
Then I'll see a cake, buy it, eat, leave it. There's hordes of freaking, just like,
What are you doing, dude?
Oh shit. Guys, let's get ready. This is the finals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on Rising Stars as we are at the Golden and Silver Girls 2026 hosted here at Chizzy Senior. I'll tell you what, we're up to the final in the Silver Girls section of this tournament, and that sees Hillcrest out of Mutare taking on Midlands Christian College out of Gweru, so they'll be vying for that spot. Winner goes up to join the Golden Girls in the next year's section.
Yep.
So all on the line here for either side. MCC in the predominant blue and red strip, and Hillcrest in the white and blue. Set to be an exciting encounter here,
We wish both teams all the best.
as both teams will be vying for that spot, all important.
Support and hosting the 2026 Golden and Silver Girls Hockey Tournament.
Both teams having gone well throughout their weekend, starting on Friday, and here we are. And then following this, we'll to witness third and fourth place playoff, and then at 1 o'clock we push off the cup final in the Golden Girls section, and that sees Falcon College taking on the home side Chizzy. Teams and umpires just going through their final routines before we get started. A massive thank you does go to you all for joining us live here on Rising Stars. Lots of noise on the other parks as we've got lots of action taking place around this campus. And I think we're almost set to go. Just don't want to be a hockey stick in that huddle. Getting themselves pumped in. Here we go. Moments away from the start of this Silver Girls final in 2026. Promotion on the line, as I did allude to earlier. MCC to push us off as they take on Hillcrest for the coveted Silver Girls title. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The whistle's gone, and going direct right from the get-go are MCC, and she's off to a great little run. Almost into the circle all alone. What a start for her side. And she gets them advantage. Boy, oh boy, are these not warning signs. Might check it up. Off to a dream start, really. Threatening signs, and wow. Lots for the defensive outfits of the Hillcrest side to deal with if she's going to put on more of that kind of display. Unfortunately, finding a foot in Hillcrest now, allowed to get themselves up and underway, taking that ball, but unfortunately a nice block tackle made. It's a bit of ping pong at the moment after that rapid start we got off to with that run from Machikila, showing a great deal of skill within her ranks, within her sleeves. And here we go, Hillcrest. Oh, straight to her opposition player. And now MCC will look to carry on that run. Unfortunately, she's going to get caught up on that line and weighing out her options, looking for a mate. She's still all alone, but does get the advantage going her way. So steps off of it and has a teammate coming up. And that was Mukwela, who managed to gain aside that advantage. Mukwela back in possession now and finds her teammate just momentarily before that got nicked away by the Hillcrest side, who would like to see themselves settle into this one. Murapa with pretty much wards of time, getting past the defender before she stuck a stick out to regather that piece of possession. Pulling that back and looking to carry that run on into the circle. Can any Hillcrest player get onto it? Unfortunately not, and they will be hurled off of it. To now carry that on. Hillcrest through the middle of the park. I'd like to see them use up the full width of the park. Doing so as soon as I've said so. And now looking to crash that up into the circle, but unfortunately only gets just before that's intercepted by the MCC side. So yet again, the final in the Silver Girls section. Hillcrest on the attack. If they're able to regather that onto a nice little run, they're approaching the circle yet again. It would be their third trying it. Unfortunately, 3 times is not enough. And back into the circle. It's managed to slip through. However, the Midlands defences, tell you what, no. Would have thought they were in after that attempt at the goals, but unfortunately just goes wide. And MCC will survive that little scare. Called off it yet again. And just weighing out her options. Plenty of time on the ball. Manages to get it just past halfway, but only finding a Hillcrest stick. She's got to lay it off, and she's done exactly that. Now onto a run. MCC nick that back. I just feel both sides guilty at the moment of holding on to possession far too long. And as we see that, she's under all sorts of pressure. And now putting on a full-on fight, intercept, or turn on over, I beg your pardon. So just got to work together a little bit more, one would feel. MCC back in possession. Just need more of those runs as we did see earlier on, and into the circle, and they will get that advantage just outside the circle, so we'll be weighing out their options. They've got a decent contingent within that circle. They decide to draw it back, pulling out one defender, crack straight into the circle yet again, but stopped just on that line. And now it'll be MCC forced into some defensive work, but yet again only momentarily. Both sides certainly thus far looking at using the middle channels. And a possible chance in for MCS. Tell you what, they do get the first goal in this encounter, and that is Chamano who scores the first goal in this game. The Silver Girls final, so there will be celebrations out in the Midlands. But still plenty of time for this Hillcrest outfit to make something of it. I mean, just re-looking at that. So 1-0 up to MCC. Hillcrest now, unfortunately, find themselves behind. The positive they can take out of it is they've enjoyed some good runs into their opposition circle. Now MCC on the attack, ball through to the middle of the circle. All sorts of chaos taking place there, and fortunately for Hillcrest, they managed to survive that little scare. But a couple of clashes of the sticks and all that chaos, they do survive, the Hillcrest unit. Seeming to just run away from her, but gathers it under a bit of pump. They still get some good go forward ball, the Hillcrest team. Just the 5 ladies in the back, and that will just fly across the face of goal. Unable to make use of that opportunity created. And that, well, at the moment has been the difference. Just using opportunities as they come, as and when they do. Frustration for Hillcrest as they've been just as good attacking in the attacking sense, but do find themselves just short. And as we go into the final couple of seconds in this, the first quarter of your 2026 Silver Girls final. Last year, I think that was won by Wiesel, who did very well this year in their debut season, if you may call it that, in the Golden Girls section in the 5th and 6th place playoff. So that's, taking your chances, and certainly something right taking place out in Marondera. And as we back here to our action, just finding a foot. But casual, one would say, and eventually brought back nonetheless. Half time, I beg your pardon, first quarter. At the end of it, we find MCC 1-0 up over Hillcrest in the Silver Girls final. So back for the start of the second quarter in the Silver Girls final, and MCC starting their way they did in the first one, and she's already passed a couple more into the circle. She turns that back, and oh no, it just runs away from her, but she did have a mate. She could start like that. You'd like to almost question how she hasn't been able to do the same in open play. But just being an insane threat, and those 2 runs will certainly be up on her end of season reel. I'd certainly have it up on mine. And that's the kind of performance I was stitching together. And yet again, MCC, was that necessary? Possibly a push on would have allowed her more time, and oh no, at the shot, getting onto Hillcrest's stick. If you are around, do join us in the crowd as well, as there's plenty of action still to come your way, and you too could be smiling away at the phenomenal hockey action we're witnessing here at Chizzy this weekend. MCC to the middle of the park, supplying Good ball, managing to pick it up off a rebound, and she's got it laid off to a mate, putting herself under a little bit of pressure, and MCC could create a golden chance here. Oh, I feel she could have certainly been a bit stronger in that attempt. It wasn't to be on this occasion. MCC back on the attack. Hillcrest defense is kind of standing and waiting for the attackers to come back at them, and why go back infield and send it back up? You had a couple of teammates ahead of you. Might check it up. She has been a real menace nonetheless for the defenders. MCC enjoying at the moment great deals of possession and real estate as Hillcrest now look to in turn do the same. Just a great fight being shown and put on by the MCC unit. I remember getting heckled by my under 13 coach for exactly that. Back yourself, back your skill. I won't mention who she was. When you're under pressure, sometimes just get it over the line and allow your side to reset, but nope. Kind of get the thinking behind it. Hillcrest, and MCC managing to pick up the scraps off of that one and crashing that ball into the circle. Can she turn and put away a shot? Not quite a fan, especially in the circle of sides that, unfortunately, no one getting a touch. Sides that look to go back when you're in the circle. I think from there, especially if you are up the park, means you're a striker. There's got to be a certain skill set or level of skill that you do have that allows you to somehow put away a shot. And for MCC, haven't actually quite seen that. I've seen them literally pull the ball out of the circle and look to reset. Got to be a bit more aggressive in that approach, a bit too timid for my liking. MCC holding more possession yet again. They've certainly had the lion's share as they cracked that. Looking to make a circle entry, but picked up and on a good little run for the Hillcrest side. Ngirishi still carrying on, and she's gone alone. That's something we've seen quite a lot of in this encounter. Just lots of great skill and able to chomp up at the meters single-handedly. And carrying on that run, she's in there yet again, but just unable to put away the shot as the defenses were up to it quickly. And no, for MCC, happy to watch that float over the line. Hillcrest, I think a bit more fight and intent, especially within that circle area. The opportunities have been far and few coming. So when they do present themselves, you've got to grab with both hands by the neck, at the least. And I think under a bit of trouble if she's able to loop around to it for MCC. She's done so very well, Machipisi. And still has her side some possession, taking that ball up. And options now. She's pretty much got no one in front of her. Could have taken that up and then, send it into the circle. However, a mate running a brilliant square line, but no, again, far too casual. And that's allowed Hillcrest through Nkamo to go up the park. There's a lady just down the road from her who is all alone, and that could cause some serious problems and issues for the defences who have been alerted to it. Getting themselves back defensively. Oh no. Onto a foot, but advantage played, and rightfully so. MCC will get to that second. On yet one of those barnstorming runs up the park. Mahoma for Hillcrest. She's been one of the ladies that's also enjoyed one of those skilled runs back to the middle of the park. For Hillcrest, with all of this attacking they're doing, it's just putting up the final touches at the end of that run. They just seem to hold it far too long, and then it's, just one touch too much before the defender gets onto them. A great line into the circle, just making it in. Can they put away a shot? MCC's defences coming to the fore yet again. Would have been desperate for at least a short corner to allow themselves to create something, if anything, from their attempts presented. Now MCC have spoken about holding on to it for far too long. Her teammates as well not really helping her out, sitting behind a couple of defenders. It's got to go now, and yet again, just not doing enough. The ladies in the circle, I'd be encouraging to scream at their teammate. Mabukwa alongside Baloy, they were in that circle and ready to fire away at the lady in goal, but just didn't get anything going their way. MCC, they won't be in a great deal of rush really as we approach the end of this second quarter into the midway break. Hillcrest looking to throw everything at it to get the ball up the park. Couple of helpless passes as that brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to half-time in the Silver Girls competition final in 2026 here at the Golden and Silver Girls host at Chizzy in this cup final. In the Silver Girls, MCC hold a 1-0 lead over Hillcrest. We'll catch you for the start of the second half and third quarter.
Yet the superiority of the Zimbabwe team became more and more pronounced as the tournament drew to a close. And Zimbabwe captured the first prize.
Hi, my name is Sarah English. I was the keeper at the Zimbabwe hockey team in 1980 for the ladies hockey. I'll pass you over now.
Hello, and I'm Christine Hislop, and I played defence, either half or back.
And I'm Anthea Stewart, and I'm the coach and the player and the cheekiest one in the team.
Linda Fraser, played right wing.
It was an experience of a lifetime. I mean, we didn't know until the last minute that we were going.
Personally, for me, I can just say it was the most amazing, wonderful experience. To actually stand on that podium representing Zimbabwe was a biggest highlight of my life. And just thank you to all family and friends and the country for all the support at that time. It was the most incredible experience.
Golden Girls tournament was at the end of every season where your top teams came to play. And now that's been expanded into a format where it is not just the first teams, it's the under 16s, etc., etc. So there are, I'm not too sure offhand, but I would suggest there's 24, 25 teams that appear at the Golden Girls tournament.
And if you come to the Golden Girls tournament this weekend, you will see a lot of coaches, and they were coaches that helped me go to all the high density areas and do a program. And they are currently now effective and skilled at coaching all sorts of teams that are taking part.
Girls have really trained hard for this tournament because I think it's one of their biggest tournaments of the season for the schoolgirls.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chizzy Senior School, who are the 2026 hosts in the 2026 Golden and Silver Girls Tournament. And we're up to the Cup Final in the Silver Girls section. Hillcrest taking on MCC, looking to go a bit different at the start, and it might have worked a treat for Hillcrest, going over the top. She needs to lay it off to the middle of the park. Her mate's available, and no! That would have been the dream start for the Hillcrest side to draw themselves back into this one. Dragging that one a bit too much, and no! Hillcrest find themselves a goal down and had created what was the perfect start to the third quarter and possibly a way to get them back into this encounter. They do find themselves down by the one and still get some more advantage. She's taken it early into the circle. However, MCC thought that initial first attack in the third quarter. Now up on a run and doing all they can through Sibanda. And could that be a possible second on? Unfortunately, just pulled away. Great run, and a little beautiful pass slipped through, but only finding the foot of her teammate. Hillcrest getting themselves up the park. Just need a sting across, or together rather. A couple of those passes. I quite like the way they started this third quarter. Full of attacking work and into the circle, and she's had a crack at it initially, and at the rebound, that cover drive, if you may call it, unfortunately isn't goalward bound, and unfortunately for Hillcrest, they have to carry on working before they can celebrate or really just pull themselves back into this encounter. The right kind of attitude at the start of this, the third quarter. Some more of this will certainly guarantee them a couple of smiles and maybe a different looking scoreboard. Nice initial touch. She's got to get a stick onto it earlier. And oh no, hasn't she done too much? She has a crack at it. And diving to her right hand side was the lady in goal for MCC. Fortunately for her, into the circle. First time at trying. Manages to get away with it under a bit of advantage, our MCC, and still taking it up to still working hard at getting themselves into the circle. MCC, I don't know if a teammate could have let that go. The pass did seem a little too vicious, if you may. Was probably looking for one of the ladies that she has on the post. So that communication needing to come to the fore. Going overhead and trying the first time. It runs away. MCC, she takes it, looks to take it quickly, liking the intent. Keep your opposition on their toes, really, if you may. And now she's got a mate to her left-hand side. I would have loved her to have let that go a little bit earlier, as she was all alone in that circle. MCC, they've got to fight to keep that within the circle. As soon that pressure will tell for something, be it in the form of a short corner, if not more so favorably as a goal. No one really coming up to her, as she literally has a nice little Sunday walk before cracking that up the park. And oh no, the decision making with that, you've got to at least try to control it first, because there wouldn't be as much accuracy in that Hail Mary kind of attempt. And also just the one lady within the defense of the MCC side who's set up with three at the back. Would like to see them add an extra possibly, just to have them guessing, as it's really easy to look after just the one as a set of three defenders. MCC up on a nice little run. She has to have a shot as soon as she crosses the line. However, the defenses coming out of the Hillcrest side just far too strong on that occasion yet again. Deciding to take it to the back, had a bit more time to try get a tad bit more accuracy, as that slipped through the entire defensive unit. Restarting off that line for MCC. Mushonga gets a beautiful ball, and does Mushonga, but none of her teammates are able to make much of that. And that's where the frustration could start to creep in for either side. For MCC, they'll feel if they do put away one of those opportunities they find themselves with, it will allow, you know, just a calmer headspace, if you may. As you know, you've got that little bit of insurance. That one goal cushion would make it two then. Needing numbers down the line, but she doesn't have anyone to lay it off to. She's on that backhand side and seeming to be making some good work of it. And now back onto a four and just gives it away instantly. Respecting possession has to be a massive thing they play along with here for Hillcrest. She's got a lady making the run past the first, and that's where it had to go. Just a little too much put on that final touch. Up the top, seeming to run away, and oh no, that'll be certainly trouble. Almost sure a stick there, looked like. I could be wrong. Nonetheless, the umpires allow MCC to go up with their advantage play. It's got to go now, that ball. Unless you can get past your defender as well as she has. Finding a mate who's possibly going to put it away. And a beautiful goal goes the way of MCC. A phenomenal run and waiting on that post to finish up the job for MCC. As they make that a 2-0 affair at the moment for Hillcrest. In this cup final at the Silver Girls stage. Going overhead again. Hillcrest. And now fully with their work cut out. A golden opportunity had presented itself. But unfortunately that foot will just allow a little pressure release on MCC, who now hold a 2-goal advantage. Seeming to be hungry for a third. Holding on to it far too long yet again. That sees us get to the end of the third quarter as we re-look at that goal. I mean, just the patience on that, just on the outside of the post, and then clinical enough to finish it off, and that allows a second for MCC. Thank you so much for joining us live here on Rising Stars. 1 quarter to go in this, the Silver Girls final. So welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you heard that in the background. Wow. And lots of smiles and excitement within the Gweru faithful. MCC. They're just delighted with their work in that previous quarter. And just the confidence coming out of them. I mean, just hearing them in the back, you know what she's going to do. They certainly are in flow state. MCC. Full of confidence, a bounce in the step, and very vocal. Enjoying their time out in the sun on this fine Sunday. It doesn't beat it. Especially when you've got 2 goals to your name in a final. And possible golden qualification for next year's tournament. This again is the Silver Girls final. And it's been a dominant display in terms of finishing up the job. The scoreboard does read 2-0 for Hillcrest, and that's not over. Just under 10. Certainly can never write out, rule off a team, especially in finals. You know, they didn't get here by luck or by chance. This lady has been instrumental for the Hillcrest side all morning, and wow, finding her marker very well. However, great defensive work put in by MCC. The lady I was talking about, Murapa, fierce competitor. and certainly one you would want to have on your team. Unfortunately, all our hard work, as for now, and are getting themselves back up. Oh, Hillcrest through that lady again, would up. Just getting turned over yet again. MCC, she kind of stood, and now she's got to let it go on that right-hand side. Don't have quite the numbers they would have wanted. Hillcrest. Oh, will they be running out of a bit of time now as this does reach the end of this encounter? Kind of chaos there. No one to quite possibly finish it off for MCC. That would have certainly put this final to bed. And that's kind of been the tale in terms of their attempt at putting hands on that trophy. They do still, however, get a chance to still do that. Good little run, and unfortunately it trickles over the line. 6 minutes and 33. That clock is cruel if you are a Hillcrest supporter. It is cruel as well for making them wait so long, MCC. They will be wanting it to malfunction or time travel, if it may. So they may start celebrations. I'm sure there'll be lots of the Gweru faithful joining us live here on this world-class stream on Rising Stars. Hillcrest, they do need a little bit more urgency, one would feel. One goal here would throw a cat amongst the pigeons. Could they finish that off? No, the chance was there. Needs to go join the boys for some cricket training. Practice that pull shot. To have gotten that through. With 5 minutes to go, that would have sparked life back into this one. And that'll see the first card of this encounter. Little bit naughty and called out, so just what they wouldn't have wanted. A green is shown by Mr. Umpire. 2 goals down, and you now find yourself a teammate down. Is it almost time you pull the lady out of goals and just throw everything you've got at it? Some might frown at my thoughts, but I don't see a reason not to. You need 2 goals. If you concede another, well, you were down already. So allow yourself that advantage for Hillcrest. As it's desperate times for them here. If the Mutare faithful are to come out of here with a smile. They also need a couple more numbers in that circle, I feel. No, we'll run away from them. 3:48 to go here on the official stadium clock. MCC, well, there'll be no rush at all, as you can see there. Mutore. No rush in Africa. especially when the defenders don't come up at you. Hillcrest, it's just far too deep for a team that are chasing a game. Well, that's my mindset. There's no point in any sort of damage control. Damage has already been done. It just needs to be more aggressive. There's got to be more belief, and I'm going to be hoping someone within the dugout particularly works on the mental aspect of this encounter of their game, especially towards the end of the season. Where you've spent, the last 3 to 4 months together. They were on tour, Hillcrest. There's got to be a bit more fight, and you can't really be walking it up, and you can't have possession and only one lady in the circle. It's something I've really struggled with and would like to see a bit of a change in for Hillcrest. Hillcrest back on attack with just only 2. It baffles me, really. Good run though, and unfortunately that pass is just far too tame and incredibly inaccurate. Back on the ball. Pass goes up, fighting to loop around onto it and into the circle, but if you don't have the numbers for all the hard work, the lady in the 11 shirt for Hillcrest, Girishi, unfortunately nothing will come of it. "50 seconds to go, and I'm sure they'll be smiling away, MCC. Now possibly looking for yet another to wrap proceedings in this game. 33 seconds is all they'll have to wait. 33 seconds, far too long. Hillcrest, however, looking for a consolation to save some face. 33 seconds, far too little, as we half that into 15 for MCC. The lady running up to the ball. She'll have only one thing in her mind. One thing. As they'll start. The lady in goal had already started a countdown. And the celebrations begin for MCC, your 2026 Silver Girls champions. And most delighted they are as they make their way onto the park. Unfortunately for Hillcrest, not quite the same feeling, not quite the same reaction as their weekend, a weekend filled with joy, unfortunately doesn't quite close out in the same fashion for MCC. In their huddle, they come together and delighted. Congrats to Midlands Christian College, your 2026 Silver Girls champions. Commiserations out to the Hillcrest side. Thank you so much for joining us live here on Rising Stars Media.
We acknowledge our official security and safety partners, Safeguard. Safeguard Security is the leading security company.
Wouldn't want to be a stick in that huddle yet again, but wow, full of joy, and why not? Yet again, thank you so much for joining us. That was your final in the Silver Girls section. Midlands Christian taking a 2-0 victory over Hillcrest. We'll catch you shortly for the start of the 3rd and 4th place playoff, as that sees Peterhouse taking on
Player safety is being overseen by the tournament's official.
a team, Hellenic, that will be. Peterhouse will take on Hellenic in that, and then the cup final to come your way later on. Thanks to Casey left for hanging there. I was looking to him for a bit of reassurance as to who the other side were. Nonetheless, the cup final will then go on to see the home side Chizzy take on Falcon as the champs to cross us on over. We'll catch you then. Thank you.